You open your credit card statement. There is a charge for $49 from a company you do not recognize. You tap the dispute button. 2 days later, the money reappears in your account. It feels like the bank simply erased the charge. It did not. That $49 triggered a formal process that will pass through 5 different organizations over the next 90 days. But while you're seeing a refund, the merchant is about to lose much more than $49. To understand how one button can start a war between 5 global organizations, we trace what happens the moment you hit dispute, right here on How Things Count. The first thing your bank does is give you the money back. Before investigating, before contacting anyone, this is called a provisional credit. The bank essentially fronts you $49 from its own reserves while it figures out what happened. Think of it like a hotel that refunds your room charge the moment you complain. Then quietly investigates whether the complaint was valid. The consumer is made whole immediately. But that creates an uncomfortable question. If you already have the money back, who is currently out of pocket? Your bank opens a formal case, the one that gave you the card. It assigns a reason code. Visa maintains over 75 reason codes across 4 categories: fraud, authorization errors, processing errors, consumer disputes. The reason code determines which workflow the case enters. Visa routes fraud claims through its allocation workflow. Everything else goes through collaboration. In plain terms, the rules are different depending on whether someone stole your card or you just did not like the shoes you bought. Each workflow has different evidence requirements and different timelines. The merchant must navigate all of it correctly, or the loss stands. This is not a phone call between 2 people. This is a message routed through the card network's dispute infrastructure. Those rails are about to carry something the merchant did not expect. The chargeback arrives at the merchant's bank, the acquiring bank. The merchant's day gets worse. The acquiring bank does not ask for the merchant's side of the story first. It debits the merchant's account immediately. $49 gone, plus a chargeback fee, $20 to $100, non-refundable, even if the merchant eventually wins. Think of it like being fined for an accusation, not a conviction. The merchant is now down between $69 and $149, and the investigation has barely started. If the merchant does nothing within the next 20 to 45 days, the loss becomes permanent. Silence equals guilt. But not every merchant goes quietly. Most merchants face a calculation. Fight the dispute? That path costs time and documentation. Merchants win only 45% of the time, or absorb the loss and move on. Over 70% of chargebacks go uncontested. But for those who fight, the next stage is called Representment. The merchant has to build a case against you. Delivery confirmation, IP address logs, a signed receipt. Communication records, all of it goes back through the network to your bank. Your bank reviews both sides. If the evidence is compelling, the provisional credit gets reversed. Your $49 disappears again. Most people have never experienced this because most disputes are never contested. But winning representment does not end the dispute. The other side can escalate. If neither side accepts the outcome, one final stage remains: arbitration. The card network itself steps in as judge. Visa or MasterCard reviews the case and issues a binding ruling. The losing party pays an arbitration fee. $500 minimum, often more. Merchants rarely trigger it for a $49 charge. But for high-value transactions, it is the last recourse in a system they did not design. None of this is accidental. The rules were written by someone with a reason to write them this way. You might wonder why a system would be so aggressively one-sided. The answer is in the profit, and it does not come from the merchants. Card networks do not make money from merchants. They make money from transaction volume. The more people use Visa, the more revenue Visa earns, and people use the card that protects them. If Visa made disputes harder, consumers would switch to MasterCard. If MasterCard sided with merchants more often, consumers would switch back. The entire dispute system is shaped by one competitive pressure: cardholder loyalty. Merchants absorb the cost because accepting cards is not optional. 93% of US retail spending flows through card networks. You cannot refuse to play. The next time you dispute a charge, the money reappears in 2 days. Remember what happened on the other side. A merchant was debited before being asked, charged a fee they cannot recover, given a narrow window to prove innocence against a system designed to favor you. Every dollar of fraud costs merchants $4.61. That number accounts for fees, lost inventory, and overhead. 337 million chargebacks will be filed globally this year alone. Your $49 was not erased, it was extracted. Follow How Things Count to see more of the hidden mechanics behind everyday money.